Yeah. Well, it just became clear, I think in the last couple of weeks that, number one, that the on-field things that he went to India to work on in terms of just execution and use of pitches, that he had done enough that anything more that he can work on can happen here. And then, more importantly, just the volume had built enough, and he had had a chance to adapt to the schedule enough where he felt like the challenge was right in the major leagues. And he felt confident that he could come up and help us win games. So really as simple as that. And as we said, back in spring training, he was, most of the time it was going to be him telling us, and not all of it, because we were in control of some of the scheduling and volume, and so that's why not all of it was up to him, but most of it was going to be up to him, and I think he told us pretty loud and clearly that he was ready.
Ben, he's 21 years old. He seems pretty composed. When you guys were doing your scouting and you were reaching out, what stood out as far as his mental makeup? Because a lot is going to be asked of him. There's a lot of external expectations, and he seems pretty okay with it.
Yeah, I think what we knew at the time of the draft, I think what we knew about him was that he was someone who, I've said this before, so forgive me for the repeat, but that, not just wait and meet a challenge, but pursues a challenge. And so I think we knew that about him, and his life had lent evidence to that. And that's certainly been true, right, as we've gotten to know him. I'll be honest, at the time of the draft, of course, I know it's a big deal, it's 1-1 and all that. The level of interest in him, as it's come into this year and recently, is beyond even what I anticipated, would have expected. So I guess it's a new world, and we're all learning about it at the same time, and he is. And I've thought about, other really good players I've been around at the same age, and including some who have gone on to have really, really good careers, and I can't remember any that have been surrounded by this much interest. And so, yeah, it's been really impressive to watch him handle that, and walk every day through it and handle it with poise and respect, and go out there and do what he's doing on the field. So selfishly, if I had a wish, I kind of wish that he could get some time just to settle in as a player, be part of that clubhouse, and I believe he will be able to do that. But he's different than others, and it's just a fact of life right now.
You sort of answered what my thought was going to be. Is there going to be space for him to just be a rookie? Is it maybe the team's job to sort of create that space?
I think inside the clubhouse that can happen, and even in the minor leagues can happen, and does happen, and will happen here too. And I think he wants that to happen. He's not, when he's inside that room, he's not looking for anything else but that, but to be treated as a young player would be treated inside a clubhouse, and be part of that crew. And I think he obviously understands that in his case there is going to be some other responsibilities that come with it that some others may not have to face quite as much, and we'll do the best we can to help him manage that. It doesn't feel like he needs a ton of help. It feels like he's handling it pretty well.
And the point that you made before, you alluded to it, sort of the balance between him showing you when he's ready, being in charge from that point of view, and you guys being in charge of the workload. Now that he's in the majors, what about the restrictions on him now, innings count, pitch count, things of that nature?
Yeah, the truth is that we, big picture, we're tracking volume and work volume for every pitcher on the team, no matter who they are. The number of pitches a pitcher throws is the thing, no matter who they are, in terms of effectiveness and recovery, and what a particular pitcher is able to do today, tomorrow, etc. So that's not specific to Paul Skenes or any particular pitcher. In Paul's case, it gets more attention because of what we've gone through the last few weeks and this build up that happened after spring, and because of who he is. I understand that's going to get more attention, but the truth is we look at it for every pitcher, and it's part of the decision making in terms of, again, trying to win a game and also what happens after the game and getting them ready for the next start. So that's going to continue just because it continues for every pitcher. The goals, as I've said before, were to try to put Paul in a position where he could build up appropriately into the season to the point where he had enough volume where he could come up and make a major league start in a way that wasn't gonna be overly taxing to a bullpen. We think he's at that point, and from here we'll continue to monitor it, and our hope is we can do that in a way that allows him to remain an active